Have you ever looked in the mirror after a really long night and just thought, what is actually going on with these dark circles? Well, it turns out it's not just about being tired. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the fascinating body science behind them. So, let's dive right in.
We've all been there, right? You pull an all-nighter, you look in the mirror the next morning, and bam, you're a panda. But what's the real biological reason that happens? It's not just a feeling. There's some seriously cool physiology at play here.
Okay, so to understand the whole picture, first, you have to understand the canvas it's all happening on. And when it comes to the skin right under our eyes, we are talking about a uniquely delicate canvas.
Now check out this number, 0.5 millimeters. That's it. That is the average thickness of the skin directly below your eye. To put that into perspective, the skin on your back can be up to 4 millimeters thick. That's 8 times thicker. So we're dealing with something incredibly fine, almost like a piece of tracing paper.
Right, so unlike the skin on, say, your arm or your leg, which has a nice layer of fatty tissue underneath for padding, the under-eye area has barely any. This incredible thinness basically turns the skin into a translucent screen, giving us a front-row seat to all the machinery working just beneath the surface.
So that paper-thin canvas, that's only part one of the story. Now we've got to look at what's flowing right underneath it. And that brings us to part two, the slow blood blues.
Okay, so when you're tired or maybe a little dehydrated, your circulation slows down. It gets kind of sluggish. This means those tiny blood vessels under your eyes aren't getting refilled with fresh, oxygen-rich blood quite as fast. And here's the kicker. Oxygenated blood is a bright, vibrant red. But once it loses that oxygen, it turns a much darker, almost purplish blue color. And because that skin is so incredibly thin, that dark bluish hue shows right through. And there it is, the classic dark circle.
But you know, it's never just one thing, is it? That thin skin and the slow blood flow, they create the main effect, but there are a bunch of other factors that can jump in and really amplify the look of those circles.
First up, you can thank your parents for this one. Genetics. Yep, for some of us, having more prominent dark circles is just part of the family blueprint. Then there's your lifestyle. A diet high in salt can make you retain fluid, which makes the whole area puffy. And not drinking enough water can make the skin look even more sunken in. And of course, just plain old natural aging causes our skin to get even thinner and lose collagen, making those blood vessels underneath even more visible.
And here's another huge factor, our own anatomy. We all have this natural groove that runs from the inner corner of our eye downwards. It's called the tear trough. Now, depending on your bone structure, which again is heavily influenced by genetics, this groove can be deeper on some people. And what does a deeper groove create? A literal shadow. So sometimes what you're seeing isn't just color, but an actual shadow making the area look way dark.
So, when you put it all together, you've got the super thin skin, the slow deoxygenated blood, and the shadows created by your own unique facial structure. You get the full story. It's not just a simple sign that you missed some sleep. It's a really complex mix of your physiology, your lifestyle, and your own personal blueprint. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought, right? The next time you see those circles staring back at you in the mirror, maybe don't just see a tired person. Maybe instead, you can see a pretty fascinating display of your own biology at work. Are they really just a sign of a late night? Or are they a unique window into your own personal genetic blueprint? It's just a great reminder that even the smallest things about us tell a really complex story. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.